Alright, Peter, so before we get in, I'll just show you a few things.
Yeah.
So you do have a handhold here,
right,
for each passenger,
okay,
to, into the aircraft. As far as instruments go, you have an annunciator panel.
Yeah.
One of the things you want to check before you actually do the pre-flight is to make sure that this EMU is not flashing, which is going to be this corner light here.
Right, yeah.
So I'll push it. With the engine not running, it takes about 10 seconds for it to find itself and come online.
Right.
There it is. So if that was flashing really fast,
you wouldn't want to go anywhere.
You wouldn't want to go until the mechanic downloaded the data and found out what the exceedance was.
Yeah.
So if you were the previous pilot, that means you had an exceedance, but if there's someone that was flying it before you, well, he had an exceedance and he wasn't completely honest. So that's your annunciator panel light test.
Sorry to backtrack. Is that a Rolls-Royce invention?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally Rolls-Royce.
Yeah.
So it's more of a maintenance tool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
But it can be a tattletale, and
hopefully
it'll keep the pilots honest.
Yeah.
Our tack is a little different than the R44 now, where the needles will actually come up and point at each other.
Yes.
Okay, which is actually pretty nice. It's pretty simple and quick and easy to get used to it.
Yeah. And these do the same. They match each other, point at each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Except for auto rotation.
Yeah.
Where
so that's a Robinson design, is it?
That's Robinson design. Correct. Yeah. FA didn't like our old gauge. Yeah. So torque is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
MCP, top of the green, 83%.
Yeah.
5-minute yellow arc. Red line.
Yeah.
It's a red line. But there's actually a pretty large transient.
Is it?
On that, yeah.
Oh, I'll get that from the flight manual.
Okay. Oil temp, pressure, fuel quantity, amp gauge, MGT, same thing, max continuous, 706, yellow arc, 5 minutes,
Yeah.
red line's red line. You do have transients for in-flight, transients for start.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, for our start, it's going to be 9:27 for 1 second, or above 8:10 for 10 seconds. But yeah, it always starts cold. Nav, strobe, avionics master, generator. It's kind of set up a little bit. Battery switch. This enables the igniters, so the mechanic can do a compressor wash or a rinse without the igniters firing off.
Okay.
You don't have to pull a circuit breaker. You just don't turn on the. This is actually the fuel control. This is how you're going to introduce fuel.
Right.
So the starter button's down here on the end of the side collective. You don't have to hold it. You just touch it once. The starter automatically latches on.
Okay.
It'll stay latched up to 58% in one. And when it comes up to 15%, oops, I'm sorry. When it comes up to 15%, you introduce fuel, and you just push it in. Okay, there's no modulation, no nothing. Just push it in, and then you monitor your MGT.
Yeah.
And again, there's certain criteria. Should light off within 3 seconds. The whole start should be less than a minute, not necessarily, but should be.
Yeah.
You want to make sure it's below, like most turbines, below 150 degrees before you even introduce the fuel to prevent it going hot.
Yeah. And will this automatically disengage?
And then at 58% it'll disengage.
Yeah.
N1 will continue to come up to 65, 67, stabilize, and that's when you turn your generator on and all your avionics and stuff. Cabin
you can talk me through that. Will you do it?
Yeah,
Just
we'll
tell
do
me
it
what
again.
you're doing.
Yeah, I'm going to have
you
you
take some notes.
Yeah, when we go through it, I'll have you start
this is
and that's your beep switch. So
beep switch.
So this is the idle position.
Yeah.
That's full on, 100%. And like I said, you've got your button, and so up is up, down is down.
All right.
You don't really have to beep much. Normally, if it's at 99%, 100%, normally 99%, I'll pick it up to a hover. It'll automatically go to 100. And then the only time I really need to beep it is like a long descent, perhaps.
Yeah.
So, circuit breakers all in the same place as the 44.
You've got another fuel valve. Sorry to interrupt. You've got another fuel valve here.
That's the fuel valve for the main tank.
Oh right. Okay.
Right. So
how does that work? Is it sort of fail-safe? can't
Yeah, no, you
inadvertently
down here, ELT, there's your anti-ice right there. PDOT heat option would be there. This is a nice new design. You know that B&E placard used to be up here where you can't read it?
Yeah.
Well, now it's right here. It's power on. You rotate it for power off.
Right. Is that your input, Doug?
No, it wasn't. Well, we told them this was acceptable.
Yeah, yeah.
So they came up with this. So yeah, it was great. I mean, when I was younger, I could read that, but I can't read it anymore. And it's just dangerous to be leaning back in a helicopter trying to hover. You definitely have to set it down, but you may not always be able to.
Document storage, you've got that, you've got this.
Right. There's one here, and there's one here.
There's a little one over there.
And that's for your airworthiness. And then we should have one over here as well.
No consideration of pockets here for all the other junk that you can't
No, I don't like to put them on the door, especially since the vents are so close.
Yeah.
There's a possibility of them sucking it out.
Fuel valve.
In. Start installed.
Cyclic collective friction.
We don't have to do that, but normally you'll take the frictions off and you'll just check free control movement.
Yeah. Cyclic collective pedals. Collective full down friction on, cyclic neutral friction on, pedals neutral. Rotor brake.
Disengaged.
Yeah. Circuit breakers.
They're all down.
Cabin heat, anti-ice, PDOT
Heat, anti-ice, PDOT.
Landing lights. Avionics. Generator switches. Altimeter. Hydraulic switch. This is runway is on. Starting engine and runner. Battery strobe lights.
Okay. So battery strobe.
Ignition. Air is clear. It's clear. My side.
Okay. So you want to go ahead and start?
No. Yeah. Okay. Just make sure the throttle's closed.
Right.
Yep.
Throttle's
and
closed.
Press and watch.
So wait. So what you'll do is you'll just push the button. Keep your right hand on here.
Right.
Okay. When you get to 15%, just push the fuel in.
Yeah.
Also, you see it's up about 175 now, but by the time you get to 15, it'll be
drop
below 150. And then just push it in. Watch the MGT. It'll probably go up past 8, maybe 850, maybe even a little more. But if it gets close to 9, and you see it rushing up real fast, getting close to 9, just pull it.
Press the button, pull it out.
Yeah, I'll scream.
Okay, ready?
Clear. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. Igniter disable. My fault. So below 150.
There's our 15.
Okay, keep your hand on it just in case it goes high. That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
Once it continues to come up, oil pressure's coming up. So when it gets to 65, you can flip on the generator and all your switches.